Hi there, I'm an Ultimate Iron Man. Sort of. I've divided the Runescape map into 18 regions, all with their own custom-built task system. These tasks provide rewards to me, such as XP and supplies. Every week, I will randomly select one of these regions and I will be locked to it for 9 hours. Once up, my inventory and ward equipment will be wiped. My bank will be operating on a store-only basis, which means I can never take items out of it. I have compiled a list of Runescape bosses, and the goal of this series is to kill all of them at least once. With every boss killed for the first time, I'm awarded either the choice of an additional region every week, or the ability to carry over one inventory slot every single week. Lastly, all of this content will be streamed live at twitch.tv/MrFrogRS, so be sure to join in. If you need any more information, make sure you check out the description, or just leave a comment. Without further ado, I bring you Regional Rumble! So stupid. Moving on from this week, we're going to spin ourselves 4 new regions for another week of Regional Rumble. So, let's go ahead and see what we can get. Alright, regions have been rolled. This is pretty hype. I can't really complain with these. We have been blessed by the gods. It's time to move on to another week of fresh 4 new regions with a lot of potential. Let's move on to another episode of Regional Rumble. Hello and welcome to another episode of Regional Rumble. This week we have the Wilderness, but I am starting in the Trolllands because, of course, one thing is that we want to get ourselves the graceful top. So I'll be doing that very quickly before we go off and do anything else. But the Wilderness is going to be a big focus this week because, as I said in the previous episode, if we can get ourselves a rune crossbow, that's going to be massive for our account. And obviously, the Archaeologist does drop 2 rune crossbows at a time, and we have very good access to be able to kill him, along with a massive cash stack that we're being carried across during the weeks. With that said, let's start ourselves the timer, and I'm going to go ahead, buy myself the graceful top. We will be able to store it in the house this week, because we do have access to our POH by moving it. We can go to Varrock, we can move our house to Karamja, and then we can access our POH there. So that will be how we manage to do that. I will be storing it later on. Not going to move the house just yet. I've got a few other things that I need to prepare first. Buy the graceful top. And that's it. That's the full graceful set done. Very nice. So before I go ahead and home teleport, which is the next thing I was going to do so I can run up to Varrock. Obviously we don't have Lumbridge, but I'm going to use the home teleport to get to Varrock quicker. We can claim ourselves a lamp from Gomor over here. I'm not going to be using the hilt this week because all it really does is teleport me to Trollheim. Yes, it gives me the extra pest control points, but I don't have Asgarnia, so kind of irrelevant anyway. We are going to put this lamp on Slayer, as always, just because Slayer is the most inconvenient to train. That's 5,000 Slayer XP, and gets us to level 50, which means we can now kill Bloodveld. I don't know why there's an S there. Technically, Bloodveld is the plural of Bloodveld, but whatever. Anyway, that's Bloodveld unlocked, and we are now going to home teleport so I can run up to Varrock so we can prepare some other stuff for the episode. Right, so we are going to be moving our house over to Brimhaven, 15,000 coins, but it's worth it because it means we get to access our POH this week because we do have Karamja unlocked. So that is absolutely wonderful. POH is always super useful, especially because we're going to want to store the graceful top, and if we ever want to use Void this week, we also have access to that. Alright, so quick clip here. I am going to be using the GE, but before you say anything, UAMs can do this. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go into the GE. We are going to search for a bond. We have, how much GP? 202974. And what we do is we put in an offer for that. And then basically what you do is you cancel it, but don't take the money out. Now, if I go to any bank in RuneScape, I should be able to do collect, and it'll be right there to take out. And what this basically does is it allows me to transport this money to the Mage Bank in the Wilderness without actually risking it. Which is going to be huge because we do need to go up there to buy some runes from the special shop up there, I guess you could call it that. The ones that sell like cosmics and laws and stuff like that, because we will be needing them and we cannot buy them from Aubrey. Right, so I'm over in Karamja, because I want to pick up this gold ore. I'm going to need... I don't need 2 of them, but I want 2 of them. We're going to collect 2 gold ore, because later on I'm going to be making rings of dueling. And I just figured that this fits into it with my game plan pretty well. What I'm going to be doing after this is I'm just going to head down to Brimhaven. We are going to grab ourselves the bronze axe that spawns in the pub. And then I'm going to go and get myself poisoned by a tribesman and teleport up to the Ferox Enclave, which is going to allow us to death pile, because I'm going to be using Caper Skulls, as we have done in the past, to make sure we drop every single item on the floor. As before, we have 1 hour of our items being in a grave or in Death's Coffer, because obviously this account technically isn't a UAM, to do whatever we want, and then we have to collect them back before the hour is up. If, for any reason, I lose track of time, and I go over the hour, I lose everything. I just completely wipe everything. Now, I do want to mention that for future death piling, I would like to have my respawn region within, like, the week that I have. For example, Falador, or Asgarnia. The only reason I'm making the exception for this is because it's Wilderness. Now, this is a bit of a soft rule. It's not going to be, like, a super crazy one that I'm too worried about. I'm also going to go storm my Graceful Top while I'm here, by the way. But the reason I want to do this is because I prefer that as the challenge, but I've also stated in the past that I really don't want this to be focused around PvP, and the only reason I'm death piling right now is so that if I die to a player, I don't lose everything. I'm actually really concerned that this is going to get wiped when I drop it. If that happens, that's a big problem. But I guess we're going to find out, because that's the death pile made. Like I said, I'm not going to make a habit of doing this when I don't have the region. It's only for the Wilderness. Any other time, I don't really want to do it. I don't want to do it to like save inventory space, because that kind of feels scummy with the series. Alright, we are at Mage Bank. We should be able to do this. And there we go. There is the GP. So we managed to transport it safely into Mage Bank. I've still got the knife. I'm going to keep that for now, because I might be needing that. Right, so we can trade with Lundau, and we are going to need to buy some runes. So I am going to buy... Actually, I want to get quite a lot of cosmics. But they only sell 20 a world, so I might have to hop a bit for them. We're going to buy a total, I think, of 50 cosmics, because I don't want to have to come back here at all. I'm going to buy 30 laws. I don't think I'll need more than that. We'll buy 1 fire and 3 airs just for now, because I can buy more of these in Varrock, and this is just enough to get me to Varrock. And then I'm also going to buy about 100 nature runes, because I'm going to be using them probably later on. Like I said, I don't want to have to come back here, so I'm going to invest some money into them. We need to hop for the cosmic runes anyway, so I'm going to hop worlds. We are going to finish off with 50 cosmics, 30 laws, 100 natures, and then the remainder of the runes to teleport to Varrock. Alright, so I've teleported down to Varrock. We're going to buy ourselves a Staff of Fire. We've got the runes that I said I was going to get. But I've just been informed of something, especially with the chat as well, and I didn't realize the game worked like this. Apparently, if I die again, my grave items are gone. Kind of like being Death Storage in Hesperia or something. Now, obviously, the whole point to what I've been doing was to be not risking stuff, so that when I go and do wildy content, if I do get killed, I don't lose my stuff. But if I die now, I'm going to lose my stuff anyway. I didn't realize that if you're not actually a UAM, death piles just don't work. So now we're in a bit of a predicament, because I don't really want to be doing wilderness content and, you know, getting killed by a PKer and losing all my stuff when I very specifically said I don't want PKs to completely end this series. So I'm in a position where I might have to use the bank, and I really don't want to do that, because even though it's a valid exception and makes sense, I kind of like the strict rule of never using the bank. But it may come to it this episode, because I am doing a bunch of wildy content, and the alternative to like using the bank is basically just not doing wildy content. Now, I will preface that if I am going to use the bank for this method, I still will like die on the spot and set the timer and everything. I'll just have to pick up everything and put it in the bank just to make sure we don't actually lose it. I'd still have the hour. Everything else would still be the exact same. I would still make sure that I actually died, but I would have to store it in the bank, because apparently I'm going to lose it otherwise. I really wish it wasn't this way, because this is just putting many wrenches in the works, or whatever the term is. It's a really, really big annoyance, but it might have to happen. So I'm going to buy some runes from Aubrey's. We're going to get a weird amount of chaos runes. That is important later, don't worry. We've also got ourselves some earth runes and some air runes. This is going to allow us to cast teleport to house, which is going to be super useful, because obviously our house is in Karamja, which allows us to get around the map a bit easier. We also have a fire staff on us, so we can teleport to Varrock as well. So that's that covered. I need to go and buy myself a hammer, because what I'm going to want to do next is actually work on a little bit of construction, because I want to get some molds, and the only way I can think of doing that this week, or for the foreseeable future at least, is to build the tool store in the house. So we're going to be working on that today. This should be the exact amount of planks that I need. So we're going to go for PRH. I don't have it set on build mode, so I'm going to have to... Oh, I didn't buy a saw. Wait, I have the tool storage in my house. What am I doing? I've just wasted so many lore runes. I'm so stupid. Wait, I already have 3 of them. I mean, I still need to upgrade it anyway, but I didn't realize I had that many. I mean, I guess this works. Let's just... Oh, building mode, sorry. I picked the wrong option. Right, let's grab ourselves a saw. And then we can go ahead and should be able to build tool store 4. I have way too many planks. Oh, I've just realized it's 2 per tier. The wiki shows it as, like, added up, but it means total, as in, like, to build it from scratch. It doesn't mean individual ones, so I've just prepared way too many oak planks. Oh, well. We do now have ourselves molds in the POH, so I guess we've covered that problem, but I did just spend a bit too much money. My bad. So I'll just do this quick recording to say complete false alarm about the bank stuff earlier. I don't know why it says that message. I just went and tested it on another account. Even if you die to a player, your items still stay in Def's domain. So I don't really understand, but either way, we don't need to worry about having to use the bank now. It's all gone. We can move on from that. It was a big scare of mine because I really didn't want to make any exceptions to the bank whatsoever, but the whole death pile thing should still work perfectly as intended. Right, now that I'm all back to composure and I'm not completely out of sorts as I was before, we've got ourselves a chisel and a ring mold from the house. I'm going to be heading over to the Tsar area, and that is where these 17 Chaos Runes are going to come into play. If I've calculated correctly, selling these 17 Chaos Runes to the Toggle shop should allow me to get enough Toggle to buy 2 emeralds. And because of the 2 gold ore that we've got in the death pile, or whatever you want to call it, we should be able to make ourselves 2 rings of dueling, along with the cosmics we've got here. And we'll be able to use them to get back to the Ferox Enclave a lot quicker, rather than having to minigame teleport or walk or whatever. And I've now got to figure out where the shop is. So let's get ourselves those emeralds, and we can make ourselves the rings. Right, before we go ahead and make the rings, I'm going to go over to Aubrey real quick, and we're going to be getting ourselves some runes to cast Fire Blast, which we're going to be using to kill the Archaeologist in the Wilderness, which, of course, we are going to be hunting for the rune crossbow, as I said before. I need 1,200 air runes. A lot of air runes. How much are these now? They've got up quite a bit. I'm going to hop for every 50. I'm going to be buying 300 casts. Hopefully not die in that time, because then I'm down quite a bit of money. But I want to have enough to last me a little bit of a decent while. Alright, we're going to go ahead and take back all of our items. This is where we can actually check if this gets wiped. I really hope that it's all still ticked off. Okay, good. I was worried that if you dropped it, it might just make it all red again, but we've still only got 2 left, which is fantastic. And we've got ourselves the items now. So what we're going to do is head over to Edgeville, and we're going to finish up making these rings of dueling. And that gives us very good access to getting back to the Ferox Enclave. Assuming, of course, we didn't die and lose it. Quick visit to the monastery. We're going to grab ourselves some monk's robes. Basic budget gear. And of course, if I lose them, I can easily get another set very simply. I'm also going to go over to the altar, because praying at this altar actually gives you a bonus of prayer points. I can't remember how many. Is it 2? Yeah, 2 extra prayer points. I mean, every little helps, right? As was kindly pointed out, I don't even need to use the Cape of Skulls to get a skull, because I can just get one off of the Emblem Trader. I mean, this is just easier. Achieve the same outcome, just simpler. So we're now going to teleport down to our house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the Shrimp and Parrot. I forgot to store my coins in the coffer. I was meant to do that. Oh, well, that loses us an inventory space. Actually, no, I need coins here anyway, so I wouldn't be able to do that. That's actually just as well. I didn't do that. I'm going to buy myself a bunch of Karambwans here. Then we're going to get ourselves poisoned, teleport up to the Ferox Enclave again. And we are going to death storage, or death pile once again. So we're going to set ourselves another hour, and then we'll get started on the Archaeologist. Death pile has been made. Let's get ourselves some gear and take on the crazy archaeologist. This is the one. We got it! Oh my god! I didn't expect to get that. Rune crossbow. We're done. Let's get out. Pog! Woo! We got a rune crossbow! That is so good. So good for the account. Oh my god. Insane. Rune crossbow, 7 kill count. Crazy archaeologist. Brilliant. Alright, well, we got ourselves the rune crossbow. What we're going to do now is we are going to collect our stuff back again. We'll take the stuff out of storage. Apparently it costs absolutely nothing. Or maybe I already paid it. I don't know. Going to equip some of our items, and then we are going to sort out our stuff. And I think what I'm going to do next is try and take on the Chaos Elemental. And we are going to be using Emerald Bolts E, which thankfully I don't have that many of, because obviously I'm going to have to take the entire stack when I do it. We only have 31, but the plan is to sort of trap it, get it poisoned, and just slowly whittle it down until we eventually get the kill, because if we can get the Chaos Ellie kill, that is another boss kill for the series. Alright, we're going to be grabbing ourselves 20 stews from here. I'm not sure if it matters which world I am on for my grave, but we'll go back to the same world anyway, just in case. I don't know how this works on a normal account. I'm used to doing it on a UIM, in which case it transfers over every world, so that should be fine. Alright, so we've got ourselves 20 stews. I've got 8 crambons on the floor. The whole point is, obviously, Chaos Ellie takes off your gear, so we're going to want to use stews. I'm going to keep 8 crambons as extra healing, just in case I need them. And we're going to use our final teleport with this Ring of Dueling to go back to the Ferox Enclave. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up my inventory so it only takes out 1 rune crossbow. And then that way, worst comes to worst, if we lose the rune crossbow, we still have the spare one. It doesn't matter anyway. I know I've said that I'm not taking PvP deaths very seriously in this, but if I can avoid it, I will avoid it. A hit? Poison? Oh, we got the poison, but it teleported me. Oh, we got the poison, though. We got the poison. Yeah. Right, he is poisoned. Emerald Bolt's only poison on the spec? Yeah, and I saw the spec.
I'm in danger!
I'm not risking it. Oh, that means it's not poisoned anymore. I think it's immune now. I think it's not poisoned anymore. Oh my god. I don't think this is going to work, man. It was a great plan in theory, but being level 52 wilderness makes it quite difficult. To be fair, if this went the way I was planning for it to go, we'd be fine. Also, if he stopped teleporting me, that'd be great.
Hello there.
If he goes for me. He probably thinks I'm looting chests, to be honest. I mean, I've got 5 food left. I think I just bail. Did I just get the poison? No. Okay. Yep. I'm going to call it quits. I don't enjoy doing this, and I also think that I'm getting absolutely destroyed, so we're going to say no to Chaos Ellie. I need to find a way out of here, actually. Alright, screw it. We can't do Chaos Ellie right now. We'll try again in the future, probably with a better method. Well, a cheese kill is still a kill. We got ourselves the kill. Oh, look, a super attack. That'd have been useful for the kill. That is going to be the Chaos Ellie killed. I didn't really record much of this just because I'm not happy with the way I had to do it. But honestly, wieldy content is just so anxiety creating that I just wanted to get the kill however possible. I should have grabbed the super attack actually rather than the errands. So basically I just lured it to the cheese spot. It works. You can do it on a UIM, so I mean, it is what it is, right? We got the kill. Alright. Seeing as we have now killed ourselves another boss, I'm going to be taking another carryover for the series. The reason I'm choosing a carryover and not an extra region like people keep telling me to is because I know there are some things that I really want to do, and getting an extra region would give me an extra chance of getting the right regions for that week. I still think that the carryovers are way more important, because not only could I just carry over an item rather than having the same like 2 regions. For example, if I needed Mauritania and Lumbridge and I needed the Ghostpeak Amulet, I could just carry the Ghostpeak Amulet rather than trying to get both regions. But also, after we have completed these tasks that we are doing, we will then have more carryovers for the stuff we need to do going forwards. So that's my basic logic with that, and, you know, you may disagree with me, but I do think that the carryovers are the most important part. I think 4 regions gives me a lot of stuff to do, and I know that I'm a little bit out of sorts after I've done everything that I wanted to do this week, but that's only because I got it done so quick. There's still plenty of stuff that I could do this week that is going to definitely benefit the account, and one of those things is actually making a bunch more bolts. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these extra crossbows we've got here. We've got 1 rune crossbow here, and we've got the adamant crossbow here. Obviously, the archaeologist drops 2 crossbows, so we're going to go ahead and we're just going to use our fire staff, and we are going to alch the adamant crossbow. That is now gone, and then we're going to alch one of the rune crossbows, because we don't need the second one of them. So we've got ourselves our rune crossbow now from the archaeologist, and we've got some 10k GP for that. And now I'm basically going to go and make a bunch of mithril bolts, and then we're going to try and set ourselves up with a lot more emerald bolts, because currently we have 15 left, and I'd like to get a big chunk of them, and then in the future I'm going to work towards getting an Ava's device. Oh, I also want to make a holy symbol this week towards completing animal magnetism, because it can only be blessed in Edgeville, which is within the Varrock region, unless of course I get the Sorrow Book from Horror from the Deep, but let's be realistic, that's not going to happen. Do this. I would like you to bless my star, please. And there we go, we've got a holy symbol. We can use that for prayer bonus, and I'm also going to be carrying that over at the end of the episode so that we can work towards animal magnetism. All of the other items we need, I believe, are going to be accessible in their own respective regions. And we'll also have an extra carryover, at least for the time being, for any other items we need to carry over. Maybe the Blessed Axe. We'll see how that goes, because obviously we can get a Mithril Axe in most regions, but the Blessed Axe may have to be carried over from Trollland back to the Lumbridge region. But we'll see how that goes. But now, we also got ourselves a cheeky emerald from a random event, so I decided to make that into another Ring of Dueling. Pretty handy to have, because we can teleport over to the Ferox Enclave whenever we want, get our energy back, and then teleport onwards where we need to go next. So I think what I'm going to do now is just get myself some mithril bars. We're going to make some more mithril bolts, and then we're going to top them off with emeralds. We'll enchant them, and we'll have ourselves a nice stack of emerald bolts E. Okay. That's a 53 hunter. We can now catch chinchompers. I mean, I was trying to get the mithril pickaxe that's from this one right here. Dang it. I want a mithril pickaxe so I can mine mithril for the bolts a lot easier. We'll try on this one. I'm probably going to miscatch it. Can we get the mithril pickaxe now? That's a unicorn horn. Know what I asked for. Alright. I'm sure of it. This one, I reckon, is going to be the mithril pick. Watch this. See, I'm just a genius. How did I call that? That was so good. I called it mithril pickaxe. Right, so I've been discussing with the stream chat, and I've made a slight adjustment to the list of bosses that are on the series. I'm basically going to be removing Lizardmen Shaman and Skeletal Mystics from the Chambers of Xeric list, and the only reason I want to do that is because I've killed Lizardmen Shaman in Kebos, and I just think it's a bit weird that I'm classing them as a boss in Chambers, when they're not really. And also the Skeletal Mystics, I don't think they really count, so I've removed both of them. I don't get any rewards for this, just for the record. I don't get any carryovers. They're just, in fact, I can't ever get a reward from them. They are just off the list now. And you could argue that there are some others that I should remove, but obviously they were on there in the first place, and I'm going to decide whether I want to remove them or not. So those ones are going to be gone now, especially with all the new bosses they're adding. I don't think it's really going to affect us too much, because I'm still going to have plenty of bosses to kill. So honestly, I think this changes for the best. Feathers for the bolts from Shiloh Village. Let's fletch them up. Grab myself some more emeralds for these bolts, which I've just realised I have majorly miscalculated. I'm going to need a bunch more Chaos Runes. So I realised that the Isle of Souls is a way better place to make these bolts. I have an anvil right next to the mine, as well as 2 mithril rocks instead of 1. One thing for what we're going to do next is to get ourselves some food. We're going to grab ourselves the chef's hat from the stash here, so we can use the Cook's Guild to stock up. Alright, so I don't know what my last recording was. I've tried to cut out a lot of the prep work, so whatever it is, it is. We've got 2 hours and 52 minutes left. I'm not running the timer currently, because I'm just standing here, starting up the stream. We are going to be killing an Iron Dragon without anti-fire to complete a hard task in the Varrock region. Now, I've got myself some pies, and the reason I've done pies is because they have 2 eats, which means I get 2 tick eats per invent slot, rather than any other food that's going to give me 1 invent slot per tick eat. I was considering cakes, although I couldn't find a way to get them without making them, and that would just take a very long time. Admittedly, 3 tick eats per slot would have been a lot better, but It is what it is. I'm pretty sure I can make it with all of these pies here, and we're going to be ticky in every single hit. So all we really need to do is land the poison, and then I can hide around the corner and wait for it to take some damage, and then re-poison. So I think we've got a good chance of doing this. We've got to teleport out to Varrock as well if we need it. But other than that, I'm going to start this timer. And we are going to try and get ourselves this kill. I'm going to put it on accurate, because I just want to get the hit. Obviously, I'm ticking, so speed doesn't really matter. This should be set to Eagle Eye. Yep. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Okay, so the first hit isn't going to happen, obviously, because, well, I just hit him. And I don't need to ticky until I go below 50 health, because they can only hit 50s with Dragonfire. Well, that's okay. So basically now I have to start ticky in. I'm probably not going to commentate over much of this. I might just speed it up and record it, or I might just cut to when we actually get the kill. You'll see. Oh, I got a hit. And a poison straight away. Nice. So poison on the first hit. So now we just wait. We let it get down to, I think, 2 damage on the poison, and then I'll try and poison again. So we're just going to chill for a bit. Oh, it's down to 2. Time for the re-poison. Poison. Yeah, and we hit nice big, so cool. But if we re-poison here, we should get the kill, so. This is the last attempt. If we log out, it becomes immune to poison, I'm pretty sure. No! If it recovers from poison and then I leave, does it become immune to poison? Because it's no longer poisoned. So what if I let it time all the way down to 0 poison damage? Oh, that's quite annoying. We only needed 1 more poison and we were done. I'm hoping it doesn't get immune to poison. But we are going to go restock. And try this again. Apparently he's moved over there, but he doesn't move very far. So I should be able to still get the tag on him. He should still be injured. Assuming I am on the right world. I am indeed. Oh my god, that is an awkward position to be in. Poison animation, right. We'll get to confirm now. Does it get poisoned? If it doesn't, it still gets immune, even if it gets cured before you leave. Please be poisoned. I need the poison. Yes! Okay, right, confirmed. If it recovers from the poison before you leave, it doesn't become immune. Hey, the re-poison. That'll do. Hey, that is going to be the Iron Dragon kill done. And the drop is Rune Javelins. I'm not picking that up. I have Telegrab if I wanted to, but I really don't want it. That's going to be the hard task completed. I'm going to get us out of here. Ferox Enclave, Iron Dragon defeated without anti-fire. Alright, with that task completed, our rewards are 500,000 XP, 200 Diamond Bolts E, or 10 Stam Potions. To be honest, all of these rewards are good. Obviously, the XP is dependent on where it lands, but the Diamond Bolts can go in the Bolt Pouch, so it doesn't even take up a carry over slot. And you guys know how much I'd love to have Stam Potions at this point in the account, because I hate walking everywhere. So, we're going to check what the XP is. I think at this point, I'm going to be the most disappointed if I get good XP, because I'm going to have to give up one of the other rewards. But if we do get bad XP, that is fine. I'll probably take the Diamond Bolts. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what XP we'll get for the 500k. I'm not really phased on what it is. I kind of actually want it to be bad, so let's spin the wheel. I mean, smithing isn't that bad, but we do already have 70. And I think 500k is only going to get us like 74? maybe? I don't know, I don't have a skill that I can reference it with, or maybe that one. Yeah, maybe 75? I don't think it's really that useful. I think I'd rather have the 200 diamond bolts, if I'm honest. The fact that I can put them in this bolt pouch, because we've got a nice empty slot here, could be really useful for a boss kill as well, especially with the rune crossbow and the void. We are pretty set up with range now. Honestly, I think I'm going to take the bolts. If this had landed on Herblore or Prayer or something like that, I probably would have taken the XP, but I think 200 diamond bolts E is where I'm going with this. Right, next on the agenda is something that I want to do to carry over. So we do actually have a carryover slot this week, an extra one because we killed Chaos Ellie. And what I'm going to be carrying over this week is the little orb that you get from the Enter the Abyss mini quest, because we're going to be wanting to complete that at some point. So I'm going to try and start the mini quest, hopefully not get myself killed in the process. You know, let's hope there's no PKs up here because I have everything on me, and that would be disastrous. Yeah, so we're going to do this mini quest, get ourselves the orb, and we'll be carrying it over across regions so that we can complete that and work towards Guardians of the Rift. Ooh, this is one thing that I definitely should do. I've just thought of doing this. Right, so we were trying to do, is it Holy Grail or Merlin's Crystal, whichever one, and I needed this, and I completely forgot to check for it. And it's only by pure chance that I'm doing the Enter the Abyss mini quest that I just remembered to do this. So at least now if we go back to Sears, I can complete, I think, the entirety of that quest, actually. It's just so annoying that you have to check this for it. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and talk to him. Oh, for God's sake, he hates these items, and I have to not wear them whenever I talk to him, and it's just really annoying. So let's get ourselves that orb, which I can't carry, and we'll have to put that on hiatus for the rest of the quest. There's the orb. That means we can now go ahead and, I mean, we can't really do much. I guess we can use the teleport here. It's not really much point in it, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. Let's teleport, get one charge with this, and complete an easy task in the rock area, apparently. We're going to need to use this with two other mages. So there's, what's his name? The dude in the Wizard's Tower. I honestly can't remember his name. Sejador? Is it Sejador? I think it's Sejador. And then there's the guy in Ardi. And I believe there's also one more in the Wizards Guild in Feldibs if we needed that. So we could do that. Two more of these. I'm going to be carrying this over at the end of the week. Hopefully we can get this done in the next couple of weeks, and that will unlock Enter the Abyss, which will allow us to complete Temple of the Eye and work towards Guardians of the Rift. Alright, so been deciding what I want to do for the rest of the episode, because we still have just over 2 hours left. What we're going to do, I'll be back here in a minute, but what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the POH. Just going to buy one Earth Rune so I can do this. We're going to get ourselves the Void Mage Helm. And we are going to go and basically just train Mage on either Hill Giants or Moss Giants. I haven't decided yet. And the reason I want to do that is because we're going to need 66 magic in the future to unlock the Wizards Guild in Yanil, because that's going to be massive for Saladin the Twisted, and just generally it's pretty good. It means that when we get the Feldibs, we don't need an assisting region to get runes. To kill Saladin the Twisted, we'll be able to use the Wizards Guild. So that's basically the game plan for that. Alright, so unfortunately, we killed a bunch of Moss Giants, did not get a Mossy Key. I was hoping to do a Brio feat to kill and try and get some combat achievements done, but as you can see, we've got 129 casts left, but I'm almost out of time, so what we're going to do is teleport down to the POH. We're going to store ourselves our Void, and then the one last thing that I want to do before this episode is over is use up some of these runes that I got from the Moss Giants, and we can enchant a few more bolts. I probably left myself a bit too much time, but I never want to be too risky with the Void, because keeping it at the end of the episode is going to really cause me problems. Of course, I can sacrifice some items and carry it over, but I'd much rather have the extra carryovers and store it in the house, and, you know, not really play it too dangerously. Besides, there's not much more I could get from the Mossy Giants. I could probably get a tiny bit more magic XP, but in reality, even if I got a key, I can't use it. I wouldn't have enough time. I do want to mention that we did manage to get 64 magic, so we did get one level. I think we're like halfway through the magic level as well, if I'm not mistaken. 37%. I've got it on my tracker on the side, so... Alright, we're going to take out Emerald Bolts, and we are going to just enchant them, because we got ourselves some runes. We use up all these Cosmics, and then that will be all that we are doing for today. I've still got 7 minutes left, so I might just slap on the melee gear and just... I don't know, train on some... I don't know, honestly. Basically everything here poisons me, and I really don't want to buy an anti-poison, so... I'll find something to kill, probably some pirates or something, just so we can spend the last 7 minutes getting some combat XP. But that's all the bolts done. We are ready and geared. We look pretty upgraded this week. We've done a very good job. We've got 200 diamond bolts, a bunch of emerald bolts. We've still got some more to upgrade. I mean, these two should stack together. It's a bit weird how that works, but there you go. We've got 519 emerald bolts E. That is massive. And still another 107 to enchant. So I'm going to smack these on. Going to get 5 minutes worth of XP. And I'll see you guys at the end of the episode. Alright, 3, 2, 1. We get one more hit in. It's a cheeky little hit, but it was only a 1 anyway. We're going to run outside so we're not in combat anymore. And that is going to finish off another week of Regional Rumble. Alright, with that week over, we're going to be carrying over the 11 items at the top of the inventory because we did get the extra carryover this week with a Chaos Elemental kill. So we're going to be carrying over the Rune Crossbow, the 55,000 coins, the Orb for Enter the Abyss, what's it called? The Scrying Orb, the Bolt Pouch, Helm of Native's Knot, the Holy Symbol we're hopefully going to be using for Animal Magnetism, Red D'hide Body, Dragon Defender. Oh, I've mixed up these items, my bad. It's too hot, my brain's off. The Dragon Longsword, the Rune Boots, and the Barcrawl card. I was wondering why I'm carrying over Ring of Dueling. Accidentally put that in the wrong slot, my bad. Alright, so the 11 items at the top of the inventory are what we're carrying over this week. It is time to roll 4 new regions. I'm kind of hoping for Lumbridge, because that allows us to progress with Animal Magnetism. That is going to be a huge, huge unlock if we can get the Ava's device, whichever one we can get. Obviously, it'll be the Accumulator. I don't know why I'm even saying that. But if we can get that, then our range setup is absolutely brilliant. So we're going to go ahead and roll 4 new regions for another week of Regional Rumble. Alright. That is definitely progressive. Definitely in the right direction. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it's honestly just a really good push in the way we want to go. So I'm looking forward. Hopefully we can get some more progress done in the next episode. But with that said, I'm going to end off this episode here, and I'll see you again next week for another episode of Regional Rumble.